Well, if you can't beat a guy straight up on speed, you can always just wreck him. And that's exactly what happened. Hello, everyone. My name is Brody. The first of 3 races at Bristol Motor Speedway kicked off with the NASCAR Truck Series. And I'll give the Truck Series some due credit. Normally, we see a lot of cautions, wrecks, especially early in the season, but that has not been the case so far until this race. So we have a lot of cautions and cautions that transform the actual pace and the overall winner of the race because dominant trucks were taken out in a huge wreck which changed the course of how the race progressed and who the ultimate winner was. So we're going to dive into all that. I'm so excited to share my thoughts and opinions of the situation that occurred. It was lunacy what happened. I couldn't believe what happened. We're going to get into all that. We're going to start off with the race winner, of course. Then we'll pick up to where how the winner actually got there because of a large wreck that occurred, taking out some key players at the front. And then we'll jump into my what the F driver of the race because it kind of connects to that big instant wreck. Then we'll go over my drivers of the day, followed by the race results, and then my overall final opinions of the entire race broadcast. You know the regular deal. So let's get right into this Truck Series race review. The winner of the Truck Series race at the last Great Coliseum is C. Bell. Christopher Bell, the Cup Series star, gets it done in a truck for the first time since 2017, picking up where he left off with the fall victory in the Cup Series. And what a great win for C. Bell and for the Stewart Friesen Racing team. It's incredible because Stewart Friesen last season suffered a horrific injury, was out the last half of the Truck Series season. Had a lot of drivers, C. Bell was one of them, fill in for him to fill out that remainder portion of the season. And a bounce back and to expand to a 2-car team with the 62 truck and getting a win early must feel so good for that team. So I'm super ecstatic for that team, for C. Bell, for Stewart Friesen. What a great job they did. Didn't get an easy win. It was not easy to say the least. They started 15th, were kind of mired back in traffic. It was hard to pass during this race, but slowly but surely, C. Bell, using his Cup Series prowess, started to creep forward in this field. And after a big wreck which took out key players, C. Bell found himself with a track position and used his Cup Series expertise to seal the victory in the Truck Series. So super happy for C. Bell, super happy for Stewart Friesen. A great win overall, leads 63 laps and comes home with the victory in the 62 truck. Super, super great win. Super happy to see it. But anyways, this was not even the biggest story. The biggest story was the sequence, the wreck that took place, leading to Bell getting the lead and driving off into the sunset. So let's dive into that because that was the key turning point, pivotal moment of this race, and it was crazy. Let's dive into that. Okay, so let's set the stage for you guys. We get a restart with about 73 laps to go. On the front row is Corey Heim, who has won the past 2 Truck Series races, and on the inside is Christian Eckes in the 91 Chevy Silverado. So we get going, and Corey Heim appears to have botched the restart. He botches it, and Christian Eckes jumps out to an early lead. And Christian Eckes is honestly, he's the best truck of the race. He's after some pit strategy after stage 1. Christian Eckes won stage 1. After that, we had some pit strategy shake-up sequences where Christian Eckes had to battle his way back up through the top 10, top 15 to get to where he is. Corey Heim elected to shake up the strategy. He was on older tires, so that could have led to a bit of a kerfuffle on the restart because he spun the tires, and he also had some transmission issues. So both of that factors on a restart, not very good transmission issues and worn tires. So Christian Eckes jumps out to that lead. Corey Heim decides to bump him out of the way. And is that a foreign thing, a foreign occurrence at Bristol or at short tracks in general? No, it's not. Corey Heim bumps him out of the way. No harm, no foul. Christian Eckes slides up into the second lane. Corey Heim is driving by on the front straightaway. Christian Eckes was not spun out, gathered up easy. The contact was not egregious, didn't slam him, didn't rough him up, didn't bend the left rear quarter panel in any way. So we're on the front stretch, and Christian Eckes just misjudges the passing of the baton, the lead, to Corey Heim, and essentially clips him in Corey Heim's right rear. Which, Corey Heim, credit to him, he did not go just head on into the outside wall. He did a great job at correcting it, but that's in the front of the field. It's on Bristol. There's no off ramp. There's a wall there. There's nothing to his inside. So he spins out, goes up the track because of that banking, and slams the outside wall. Corey Heim's done. Caden Honeycutt, the second best truck of the race, slams into Corey Heim. And Lane Riggs, probably the third or second best truck of the race, slams into Caden Honeycutt. So in one fell swoop, one misjudgment, Christian Eckes takes out the three best trucks other than himself in one sequence, one crash. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, Corey Heim got wrecked. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to live with that, but like that's crazy. And then he just goes up the outside lane and takes out the two other best trucks. I'm like, okay, Christian Eckes, if that was the game plan, then shoot, fair play. 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional chess, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But what a unfortunate sequence for Corey Heim, who's going for 3 straight, going for the triple truck challenge, trying to get 500K done. That's over. He did lead 1 lap, though, to get that streak extended to 30 races in a row, leading at least 1 lap. So that's a little bit of a bonus. I'm sure he doesn't really even care about that record. But then Caden Honeycutt, taken out. Lane Riggs, taken out. Lane Riggs actually lived on the race. He was just like lots of laps down. Honeycutt out. Heim out. And Christian Eckes is just looking in his rearview mirror like, yeah, that was bad. So basically, guys, that is the what the F driver of the race. Christian Eckes in the number 91, because I don't know what that was. That was not pretty. That was not good. In all fairness to Eckes, Corey Heim did pull that same move before the 73 lap to go restart. He did move Eckes out of the way in the same fashion, but it was not a spin. It was not pushing him in the wall. Nothing. That's typical Martinsville bump and run. Bristol bump and run. Get out of my way. I'm faster in this instance, or I got more ability in that instance. I got a better short run truck. Christian Eckes just misjudged it. I don't. Okay, let's get it straight. I don't believe he did it on purpose. But that is still a bad misjudgment. You can have misjudgments that are minor, don't really, you don't even pick it up on TV. It's that minor. That was huge. That was huge. That changed the entire complexion of the race. And Christian Eckes, if he went on to win the race, he would have saved himself from the what the F driver of the race. Because I don't like to have one driver highlight 2 different segments. We can't do that. We can't do that. But Christian Eckes ends up on the what the F driver of the race because that was horrible. Not a great look. Not a great showing. Caden Honeycutt was very frustrated after the race. And Corey Heim is such a gentleman. Like, he had no harsh feelings, no harsh words for Eckes at all. Very polite, very respectful. Was more mad about the transmission issues than getting dumped. That says a lot about Corey Heim's character. Anyways, that's the what the F driver of the race. That was the game-changing, race-altering move of the race, which eventually that led to Christopher Bell, using his Cup Series prowess, schooling Christian Eckes on the restarts, on 2 restarts actually, and then driving away. So Christian Eckes is the what the F driver of the race. Not a great look at all. Man, what a wreck. I'm still in shock. I am still in shock. All right, let's move on to my drivers of the day. Let's begin with the runner-up, actually, Chandler Smith in the number 38 front row Motorsports Ford. Chandler ran a great race. He was not a guy you were ever expecting to contend for the win. That big wreck definitely helped him out. Cleared some competitive trucks out the way, even his teammate Lane Riggs. But Chandler Smith, he capitalized. He did what he was supposed to do. He played the cards he was dealt correctly. He ends up finishing second, kept Christopher Bell honest in those final handful of laps, but really never had the truck to ever pass Christopher Bell. clean air was too dominant, and the lap traffic never really came into play enough for Chandler Smith to pounce. But he still should hold his head high because he gets the 50 grand for the Triple Truck Challenge awardee because Corey Heim couldn't get the three-peat. And he also is now the points leader again. He is 1 point above Kane Honeycutt in the 11 truck. So well done, Chandler Smith, on a great Bristol Motor Speedway outing. The next driver of the day, I want to give a shout out to Dawson Sutton. One, because he had a great looking truck, and two, he's up there mixing it, battling with the Cup Series regulars and the dominant Truck Series regulars. He finds himself in 7th place, getting a nice top 10. He started at 34th, makes his way all the way inside the top 10. Just want to give him a shout out. Well done, Dawson Sutton. Finishing in the 10th spot, and want to give him a driver of the day because he is the only Ram to finish inside the top 10 and the only Ram to probably not be involved in a caution tonight because they were just all over the map. They were going to be my what the F driver of the race until the Christian Eckes incident happened. So Brendan Queen gets himself a nice top 10 finish after a chaotic day for Ram. He started 28th, was kind of around 20th to 15th all day long, but winds up getting a 10th place finish. So wanted to highlight that for Brendan Queen and Ram for a lone bright spot in otherwise a dark catalog for this race. Finally, let's give a shout out to Ben Rhodes in the number 99, who had a topsy-turvy, up and down, and overall unlucky day. He wins stage 2, got that stage win from staying out on ensuing restart when basically everybody else behind him pitted, so that really put him behind the strategy after he won that stage. So he was clawing his way back, gets inside the top 5 in the last run of the race, and then he has mechanical issues. The truck starts turning off on him literally as they're running green flag laps. He falls outside of the top 10, comes home in 11th place, but want to give him a shout out for battling back the way he did and winning a stage and being very, very competitive in that number 99 truck, and it looked good out there. So want to give Ben Rhodes a shout out. Now it's time to look at the race results. Here is your top 10, and getting a podium finish is Gio Ruggiero in the 17 truck. Just ran a good race, consistent race all day long, not too chaotic, not too storyline worthy. Just did what he was supposed to do. When the wrecks fall, he was not involved and gets a 3rd place finish. So very well done for Gio. Right behind him, Cup Series regular Ross Chastain was kind of not even a factor most of the night. Gets the top 5 finish. So well done for Ross Chastain. Christian Eckes actually finishes in the 5th spot where he was probably supposed to win. I mean, you take the top 3 guys out and you can't win the race. Not great showing overall. Started second, won stage 1, was the dominant truck of the race, and then just kind of lost the handling, I suppose. Did not have a great handful of restarts, and winds up getting a top 5 finish. So overall, pretty solid day besides the wreck and not winning the race. But anyways, that's where Christian Eckes ends up. Jake Garcia gets another top 10. Happy to see that. And then we have a couple of Cup Series stars, Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, ending off the top 10. Kyle Busch had a topsy-turvy up and down day. Carson Hocevar was kind of just out of the picture most of the day as well. Spire Motorsports, again, just isn't great right now in the trucks. Not at all. None of the guys were very, very competitive or had a shot to win at any point. Kyle Busch was out there just trying to save fuel, and he ran out of fuel trying to save fuel on the apron, which led him to falling outside the top 10. So that was not good. Hocevar not really competitive all day. And there's another car in this race, Daniel Suarez, another Cup Series guy. He finishes 18th. He started last basically and finishes 18th, was never really a factor either. So Spire has some things to work out in the Truck Series for sure. Not a very great outing, and not a great outing last week either. So it's not very good to see. Not a great trend for Spire, so hope they can pick it up soon. Chase Briscoe ends up 14th. Not a very great showing for Chase Briscoe. Was up there battling for stints. Not very overall great. Interesting, because last time he made a Truck Series start, he wasn't very competitive either. So, I don't know. It's just a lack of not being in the truck. I don't know what it is, but Chase Briscoe, not the best showing as well. And Justin Haley just behind him in the 15th spot. In the 16 Ram truck, Ram is just average. They're just kind of field fillers at the moment, and it's not great to say that because their best finishes of the season are around the back half of the top 10. We got to start picking it up. I know they're new. I know they're adjusting, but this is a very rough start to the season. So hopefully Ram can get going and pick up some top 5s, some top 8s maybe here soon. let's get going, Ram. Andres Perez ends up finishing 17th, which you may not think that's great, but he was involved in like 3 cautions tonight. I mean, it was nuts. He spun out 3 different times, 3 different cautions because of him, or he was just involved in them. So very topsy-turvy up and down day for the young Truck Series driver, but he ends up getting a top 20 finish, so well done. Carson Ferguson makes his first Truck Series start ever, winds up 21st, was involved in a caution as well. He actually spun out Andres Perez on one of those cautions. He had a very eventful day, to say the least. Started 29th, moves his way forward at least, so that's good to see. So very challenging track to pick as your first ever start in a truck. So well done for at least finishing the race, running all laps, and getting a top 25 finish as well. Just behind him is Lane Riggs, who was involved in that big wreck. Shout out to Lane for actually finishing the race and getting some much needed points. Finishes 22nd, started third, was very competitive all day, just unfortunate luck. Some guys with issues, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Grant Infinger, 26th and 27th respectively. Stenhouse not really a factor all day long, and Grant Infinger had mechanical issues throughout the entire race. Guys like Cole Butcher, Corey LaJoy, Luke Baldwin, all involved in their own separate wrecks or instances, and all wind up with DNF, so very unfortunate there. And Frankie Muniz in the Malcolm in the Middle truck, highlighting his new reboot of his show, also ends up with a DNF, so that was kind of disappointing as well. But anyways, that's the race results. Let's jump into my actual thoughts and opinions of this race. My overall thoughts and verdict of this race, I was very compelled. I thought it was a very good race. We had some interesting turning points in this race, some big cautions, big instances. But one thing to note was that the track actually had a big change. Normally, Bristol, you see way up on the top, way on the bottom, middle lane running. Early in the race, not a factor, not at all. It was running around the bottom, freight train the bottom, knocking people up out of the way. That's the only way to pass in stage one, basically, was to bump them out of the way. So we saw a lack of passing in stage one. Eventually, the groove started to work its way up. They were running on the bottom due to the NASCAR putting some traction compound down on the very bottom lane so those left side tires can get glued into the racetrack, make them wrap the bottom better, trying to work in that inside lane to be more of a factor and not just the top being so dominant. That was a success overall, worked out very well. So I greatly did like seeing the track progress over the course of the race. It was very good to see some inconsistency in the actual racing. So it was varied. It was not just one lane dominating, not one type of track. It was progressive over the course of the race, which I really did like and enjoy that aspect of it. We saw plenty of cautions, lazy spins, big wrecks, which changed the course of the race. So this race had a little bit of everything in store for the NASCAR fan watching. So I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the winner as well, and the crazy turn of events that happened in the middle of the race where the leaders just wreck themselves and the dominant trucks of the race are just out. That's it. Well, that was a Truck Series race. Hope you guys enjoyed this race review and breakdown. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought of the race and what you think of this video. It would mean a lot to me to see you guys in the comments engaging with the video. I really would appreciate it. So leave a like, comment down below what you think, and please subscribe if you are new and if you'd like to. It would mean a lot to me if you guys could show your support for the channel, this young channel. So I really do appreciate all your support and viewership. Hope to see you guys in a future video. But as always, guys, hope you guys have a great, wonderful, and even splendid rest of your day. See ya.